Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women.
The Women of Courage show is being broadcast by the Women and Children Restoration Ministries to help you problem solve, to help you dream again, to help you believe that anything is possible. We want you to believe that you do not have to marry the first man that you see just for someone to take care of you. You do not have to live a life of drudgery. You can educate yourself. All you have to do is learn to read competently. We want you to take a chance on yourself. Stop believing all the soothsayers around you that have never left the state in their lives. People who do not have the courage to fly. People who only think of lying, cheating, and stealing. You can live an exciting life. All you have to do is believe that you can make your dreams come true. You do not have to go to bed with someone you despise, day in and day out. You have the right to marry someone that you can talk to, someone that believes in you and has faith in you as a human being. In other words, you do not have to settle for just anyone. But what you must do is strive toward your goal. You must be goal-oriented. You must organize yourself. You must be clear about what you want in life and why you want such a life. All of us are made up of dreams. As our dreams unfold in our lives, our spirit soars. Realizing our dreams become a problem because oftentimes we are beaten down by our friends and family. We're beaten down at school by people laughing at us because of our shoe size, ear size, breast size, saying nothing will come of our lives.
The Michigan primaries and the general election are coming up, so we thought we should say something about why you should vote. Elizabeth Wallis from the League of Women Voters in Texas says here are some reasons why you should vote. She says if nobody votes, it's not a democracy. If you don't vote, people will not take you seriously. Voting is how you define yourself as part of something larger than yourself. Number four, if you do not vote, someone else will make the decisions for you. Voting is part of your independence. Number five, it matters. It matters to the future of you, your family, and your community. Six, people who don't vote are letting down their families and their communities. Moms, do you have an 18-year-old in your family? If so, give him or her register and be certain they vote. 8. Refusing to vote isn't a rebellion, it's a surrender. Number 9. Love your country. Prove it by voting. Number 10. Voting is the great equalizer. The richest billionaire in America gets just one vote, the same as you and me. Number 11. What do the smart people do? They vote. They are voters. Number 12. Elections have consequences. Be a voter. Elected officials make all the big decisions and they listen to the people who vote. Number 14. If you don't vote, you're invisible to the elected officials who make all the big decisions. Number 15. Did you know people with money spend billions of dollars on elections? Billions spent for television ads, mailers, people to make phone calls and to knock on doors. The smart people spending all that money are trying to influence the voters. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't do it. Number 16. If you don't vote because you think your vote doesn't matter, then the people who don't want you to vote because you are afraid of how your vote will not win. Number 17, bad people are elected by the good people who did not vote. Hundreds of thousands of Americans have died to protect your right to vote. You owe it to them to vote. 19. Voting is the right thing to do. Start preparing to vote now. Go and register at the Secretary of State's office. Find out where your polling place is and be prepared to be the first person in line to vote that day. If you do not have transportation to the polling place, call your local library and find out who is offering free transportation to polling locations. Remember, vote. Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in. This is Gloria Lee, the moderator for the show Women of Courage. Wherever you are in the world, I need you to know one thing right now. You are amazing. I know you might be upset. I know you might be hurting. And I know you might be frustrated. I know because all of these things happened to me. I was homeless for 2 years, and all I had was a computer, my son, and a car. I want you to know you still have a purpose in life, and it is my job to help you believe that again. Do you want to believe? Can you see that the divorce was not meant to take you out? Can you believe that the lost house and the lost job is a setup for something greater? By the end of this broadcast, you'll be injected with so much that you cannot help but believe again. And I am going to help you do just that. Are you ready? I got some things I want to share with you. And I will even make suggestions on books and activities that you can implement, which will ultimately bring healing and wholeness to you. If you are ready to be healed, if you're ready to be whole, just jot down the pointers I give and watch your life transform. No matter what happened, no matter whose fault it was, today is a new day, and your time to live and be free is now. Join me in this journey to wholeness. Your time for total healing is now. Today you shall recover. Wholeness, healness, and peacefulness is in the mind. That is where all battles for life end and begin. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive. Last time we discussed the lives of 17 black women. These were women that participated in the civil rights movement. They performed exceptionally. Most of these women were just ordinary, average women, except they wanted change to take place in their lives and in the neighborhood and in the lives of their friends and families. So they got up and did something. We introduced these 17 women to you because we wanted you to compare yourself to these women. Why can't you live a life the way these women lived their lives? You need to ask yourself this question. You need to ask yourself, what am I doing to participate in life to bring about a change so my children can live a better life than what I lived? If you cannot come up with a reason why you are not participating in life, then you need to take a serious, hard look at yourself, and you need to look at the people who you are living around, the people that you consult for advice, the people who you listen to. This is extremely important. If you do not change, what do you expect from the lives of your children? All you can expect is that they're going to end up prostituting themselves, selling dope, or ending up in prison. Did you have bring your children into the world for these children to go their lives to go down the drain? Well, if you brought your children into the world because you love them, then you must stand up and fight for their lives, which means that you're going to have to go back to school, which means you're going to have to change your life, which means you're going to have to clean your house, which means you're going to have to learn how to manage your time. Life is not something that you play with. You don't have time to sit and gossip. You don't have time to be talking about somebody else's breast and butt. You don't have time for foolishness. You don't have time to be sitting up smoking marijuana. Last week we had a report of a woman. She wanted to sit down and have a good time smoking marijuana, so she gave her child some cold medicine. She ended up killing her child. She poisoned her child with this cold medicine so she could have time to smoke marijuana. Is that not unbelievably stupid? If this woman was a reader, she would have known you cannot give children noxious substances like that. Their bodies cannot process those chemicals. Now this woman is facing murder charges for killing her infant child. Is that unbelievably stupid? Once you bring a child into the world, you are responsible for the life of that child. Period. It is unconditional. That's the way life is. When you bring a child into the world, you are responsible for that child. Then you need to educate yourself and learn some discipline so that that child can live a healthy life. If you do not feel good about yourself, then go see a psychiatrist. Go talk to a psychologist. If you're bringing unrelated men into your home every other month, you need to go see a psychiatrist. If you're trying to screw every man in the world, trying to prove how better you are than somebody else, you need to see a psychiatrist. Something is wrong with the way that you think. If you go out to bars trying to find a man so he can give you $30 to pay your light bill, something's wrong with the way you think. That's a stupid proposition. You're going to take a chance on your life by contacting AIDS just to get somebody, screw a man so he can give you some money. And why are you so worried about your butt size and your breast size? You want to go have an operation so you can enhance your butt, as they call it, so you can have a larger butt to attract men, and you're going to take a chance on your life and leave your children here motherless. That doesn't make any sense. You need to be satisfied with the body that God gave you and go on with it. You don't have time to sit down moaning why your feet is a size 9 or why they're a size 11 and why you got a big nose and a flat face. You ain't got time for that foolishness. You have to get up and earn a living to make certain that your children have what they need to become strong adults who can take care of themselves, who can make good decisions and not stupid decisions like going to try to rob somebody and steal someone's purse when they don't even know how much money they got in their wallet or purse. Stop using poverty as an excuse. Yes, poverty is hell, but you can come out of it because other people have come out of it. But you have to have discipline. You're going to have to want to do it. And if you're around stupid talking people, you need to get away from them because that's what's pulling you down. Anyone that's not going in a good direction in their life, you need to leave them alone. And I am going to interrupt our discussion of important black women during the Women's History Month to make two shows discussing self esteem. They will be show 77 and show 78. Then we will return to discussing important black women. As I mentioned earlier, I want you to ask yourself this question: why can't I do more with my life like the women I am learning about? Why have I settled in life? The sole purpose of the Women of Courage show is to cause women to change their lives so that their lives can be changed and the lives of their children. We want to stop the flow of men and women into prison and into prostitution, which is seen all over the country. More can be done with your life, and we believe if you have a serious conversation with yourself, you may see that not only should you change for the sake of your children, you should change for the sake of yourself. And that you will see change is possible. All you have to do is stand up for yourself and stop being envious and jealous of someone else's success. You need to ask yourself, what type of life do you want to lead? And once you make that decision, then act on that decision and start moving toward that goal. Now to our discussion of self-esteem. By now, you can see that low self-esteem is a problem. Low self-esteem is wreaking havoc in the lives of people all over the country. People with low self-esteem do not trust their judgment. The hardest thing about being a person with low self-esteem is having faith to trust his or her instinct because it's an abstract intangible, because there's nothing more than a feeling in your gut that something is wrong. People often fail to have confidence to listen to their internal voice when that internal voice is telling them something good. People are turning to drugs, alcohol, trying to find some relief from feeling bad or from the thoughts that are coming into their minds. Furthermore, self-esteem also affects the family and the children growing up in homes of people with low self-esteem. Low self-esteem does not go away once a person enters his or her own home. This is a subject that we will discuss. Children who are the minors of people who have self-esteem, low self-esteem, trying to stop the incessant dialogue where people repeatedly condemn themselves for some minor infraction for not being perfect is a goal for a peaceful life. If feelings of low self-esteem persist, the feelings can lead to anxiety and depression, and all semblance of self-confidence is gone. I am now going to discuss the phenomena of internal dialogue and how it can destroy our lives if we fail to control our self-speech. Then I will discuss anxiety and self-confidence. Listen closely. Maybe something that I will say will help you. But please remember, if low self-esteem persists in your life, seek counseling. You will be surprised how much better you will feel working with a counselor. During the next few weeks, we're going to discuss when you are in trouble. We're going to continue to discuss self-esteem and our self-image. And we're going to introduce a new subject, internal dialogue and motivation. The reason why we keep rehashing these topics is because these topics are important to our lives. We have to realize and accept we are descendants of slaves. Slaves were brutalized. Slaves were tortured. Slaves were mistreated. Slaves were repeatedly raped and beaten. This harsh treatment had a lasting effect on their lives, on their relationships with other people, on their relationships with their families. The only way to understand ourselves is to understand our ancestors. And the only way to free ourselves from what happened 100 or 200 years ago is to pay attention to what we say and do to ourselves and others. There are three black psychiatrists I want you to read. You must make an effort to go find the books that these three people wrote. The psychiatrists are Frantz Fanon, Francis Cress Welsing, and Alvin Toussaint. You need to understand how slavery and racism has affected you. You need to read everything that these three people wrote. It will help you in your understanding of yourself and in your understanding where you want to go and how other people living around you are why they are the way they are. It is quite a task to try and explain reality to others. The writing of these three psychiatrists is a and was a bold endeavor into the future. What they wrote about and why they wrote was not because of finance. These people were not interested in money. They were interested in helping. Now, an internal dialogue or self-taught or interspeech is a person's inner voice. It is a running verbal monologue that a person has with himself or herself while they are conscious. An internal dialogue is an inner conversation that we have with ourselves. The discussion that we have with ourselves is usually tied to our sense of self. Our monologues can be characterized as plannings, problem solving, self reflection, self image, critical thinking, emotions, and sub vocalization. When our internal dialogue or inner speech becomes negative or critical, it contributes to psychological disorders including depression, anxiety, and other mental disorders. This is why I think it's important that we discuss the subjects of internal dialogue. Self speech can lead to murder because it is associated with the image we have of ourselves. Yes, that is correct. Self speech can lead to violence. In the next few weeks, I hope to relate these subjects in such a way where you can see how they affect your life and how you can take this knowledge and turn your life around for the better. But the only way you can succeed is you must be honest with yourself. I want you to see that life is unpredictable, so don't be surprised if you find yourself wrong in some of your beliefs and expectations. That is normal, even if it seems illogical at sometimes. You must accept that some of the things that you believe are not true. There is always time for laughter and a miracle if you see it that way. And sometimes you should roll with the punches rather than condemning yourself when something does not go the way you think it should go. Something else I hope that you will see in our discussion is that you prepare for a storm by doing three things: saving your money, reading and never stop reading, and learning a new skill. This way, if your employer gives you a surprise, you do have several things to fall back on: a new skill and a savings, and you do read so you will know what is happening in your community. After a great deal of research into the concept of self esteem, it seems that many of life's failures are linked to one's self esteem. The lack of self esteem seems to be the kissing cousin to the word avoidance, excuse, flight, risk taker, and fear. There seems to be a negative chain of events that develops from the lack of self esteem. If you lack self esteem, you may constantly say to yourself, I am not going to get that job, so why try? She is not going to go on a date with me, so why should I ask her? And the churning goes on until nothing is accomplished, all because you do not believe in yourself. People miss out on good jobs and good relationships because they don't believe in themselves. A lot of us live lies, but only a few of us live our dreams. A lot of us have lofty dreams. We want to have successful relationships. We want to own big corporations. We want to raise a beautiful family, but only a few people are able to fulfill their desires. A lot of people are confused about how to live their lives to the fullest, so they end up living a life of mediocrity. Maybe that describes you. You are not alone. Understand, first of all, that life is not rocket science. So what you put in it is what you get out of it. If you fall into the category of people who do not have the willpower to live their own lives, then I've got good news for you. The book Women of Courage and You Are the Prophet of Your Life are two books you need to read. The books not only discuss how you can solve some of your personal problems, they also provide practical guidance on how you can move from the realm of dreaming to the realm of doing so that you can achieve your heart's desire. These books will teach you to attend to your self esteem. You will receive suggestions on how to build your self esteem. The books also will give you examples when you should seek professional guidance to help you with your low self esteem. Oftentimes we need help, and there's nothing wrong and it does not make you weak to go and ask for help. Now, you must see how negativity can ruin a beautiful life, but by living positively, you can solve a number of personal problems that can stand in your way of happiness and a successful life. Think of your life as a new building for which you are the architect. You can decide how many bathrooms or bedrooms to put in your new house. Think of your life as a vehicle for which you are the driver. You can decide when to stop your car or when to accelerate your car. Think of your life as a ship on a stormy sea for which you are the captain. You're the sailor. You have to sail to safety, otherwise the ship will capsize. Only you can determine the course. Only you can decide what direction you want to go. These are all decisions that we all have to make every day. Every day life throws different challenges to us. How we choose to handle these challenges can make a difference in our lives. We can decide what happens in our life. You can be your own prophet. You can make the choices, but in making choices, you need reliable information. You cannot wager your life based on someone else's goals or beliefs. You can have a friend that tells you it's a waste of time for you to save $5 a week. That's stupid. She may say that it will take you forever to accumulate any money in the bank. Or your friend can say it's a waste of time for your trying to go to college and pay tuition while working at McDonald's. When people give you advice, you need to examine their suggestions thoroughly. You do not start saving money. you will never have a savings. And people should have a savings no matter how much money is in their account. And if you do not start going to college while working at McDonald's, when are you going to go to college? You must keep in mind some people can give you stupid suggestions based on their life desires. And some people may not think anything is worth working hard for. So before you make a decision based on what someone else thinks, consider your own thoughts, thereby elevating your self esteem. If you think saving $5 a week is important, then that is what you should do. As the weeks go by, you can increase your savings from $5 a week to $10 a week. Here's a Chinese proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. You should never be afraid of taking the bold step. You want to change your career at age 40? Then change your career. You need to acquire a new skill to boost your income. So go for it. You love someone but are scared to tell them? Come on, do it now. No one will kill you for that. It's the story of your life. Do not let anyone else but you be the writer of your life. You can look beyond the facade of whatever despair and disappointment you're currently facing. Don't ever look down on yourself. If you ever have to look down, make certain, that you're looking down at your shoes. I'll say it again. If you ever have to look down on yourself, make certain that you are looking down at your shoes. We all need a companion to help us through life. You need a companion to help you make your decisions, because a lot of times it's easier to talk to someone who is a true companion. Well, You Are the Prophet of Your Life is a very good companion. You need to read this book and live the life you've always wanted. You do not have to walk around desperate. You do not have to walk around unhappy. Now, please take a moment and listen to these alarming statistics. According to the recent New York Times article, the United States suicide rate surged to a 30-year high in the year 2015 and is steadily increasing. In fact, in the last 15 years alone, the suicide rate for girls aged 10 to 14 tripled. The suicide rate for middle-aged women saw a 63% increase, and the suicide rate for middle-aged men saw a rate increase of 43%. These statistics are devastating. People of all ages and walks of life are unhappy, desperate, and they feel their life is without hope. And the problem of suicide is getting worse. In recent weeks, we heard of the suicide of George Foreman's 42-year-old daughter, Frederica, and the Olympian track cyclist, Kelly Catlin. Miss Foreman had a short-lived boxing career. She appeared in about 6 bouts and she won 5 times. She retired with a record of 5-1. Her last loss was in 2001. George Foreman reportedly paid her to quit boxing because he wasn't happy about her being in the ring. Frederica Foreman is survived by her husband, 2 daughters, 3 grandchildren, and 11 siblings. Cyclist Kelly Catlin helped lead the U.S. to a silver medal at the 2016 Summer Games. Last Friday, her family said she was found dead in her dorm room at Stanford University. Kelly Catlin was 23 years old when she killed herself. We must change this hopelessness, this dark place where people go who think of ending their lives. One way of fighting this phenomenon is to fight bullies, to fight hopelessness, and to fight worthlessness. We also need to look at the fact that many believe in society that society is more important than the individual. Some people are made to feel small because they are different. We need to understand that conformity is not necessarily a good thing. There's nothing wrong with being different. In fact, the church needs to understand and stop forcing people to think as they think. Everyone does not have to be a Christian. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Now, for my dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the hands of a million people? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach a million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV, Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
The Women of Courage Show broadcast on WHPR 88.1 FM every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you are not in your car or near radio during our broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the link WHPR 88.1 FM. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the free app WHPR TV Detroit Live, or listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you missed one of our broadcasts, you can view our archive on YouTube at the Touch by the Light Publishing channel. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Please join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Do not. Reading is not only a necessity of life, it is an activity that can be fun. Why not visit the website touchedbythelight.us and learn more about the books that we have discussed during our programs. Books such as A Christian is Never Desperate, What You Must Do to Win, Life-Saving Advice, Women of Courage Part 1 and 2, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, and the book Murdered Voices. We think you will be glad that you took the time out of your day to visit our website, touchedbythelight.us. Have a great day. I'm back. We have hundreds and hundreds of people who drink alcohol for relief, who take drugs for relief. They do not believe. They've been caught up listening to what other people have to say. You can change your life. You need 2 jobs and a car. And you need to change your friends. And as soon as you can, move to a different neighborhood Do not associate with anyone who is negative. Keep working those two jobs until you get enough money to go back to school. Take yourself to a trade school or go into a school that gives you an associate degree. But keep moving and stop listening to people who talk negative. You can be the prophet of your life, but you must believe in yourself. You must seek professional help if your mind keeps taking you to dark places. You can control your destiny and shape your future. You can live a better, more fulfilling life. You can control the course that you are on. You are the prophet of your life. Is a new book that I've written and that I'm glad to be able to share with you or anyone you know who may personally be suffering. Nobody needs to suffer in silence. This book will show you how to be the author of a new chapter in your life. It will show you what you need to do to be happy, successful, and sure of yourself and your future. You must understand what it takes to survive and what it takes to win. Think about it. If you keep working your two jobs and keep saving your money and ignore the people who are stupid and speak negative in your life, you're going to begin to get better. I have found that it's in your darkest hours that you can discover your true self. That is correct. The brilliant light within all of us that can never, never be dimmed if we continue to believe. You will learn how to make informed decisions that will enrich your soul, enlighten your mind, and show you what you have to do and your capacity to make a permanent, positive change in your life. The more you read, the more information you acquire. You will learn from other people's mistakes and other people's triumphs that you are indeed the prophet of your life. Many of us live our lives, but few live our dreams. As prophets of our lives, we have the capacity. We can also attain our most lofty dreams. Ask yourself, do you have or do you want to have rewarding personal relationships? Do you want to run a successful business? Do you want to raise a beautiful, happy family? Then do it. Whatever your dreams are, they are all possible if you have the roadmap, the set of instructions on how to achieve these goals. One thing you must do is keep in touch with yourself. Make a list of everything that you want. Make a list of everything that you want to accomplish in your life. Then every end of the week, you sit down and go over this list and see how close you're becoming to achieving these goals. You divide your list into small goals, medium goals, and large goals. Then that way you can start checking off when you accomplish these goals. Now, in terms of a set of instructions, you can find tips in You Are the Prophet of Your Life. It does give you information on how to become successful. No one has to live a life of mediocrity, settling for whatever comes their way. This book provides good guidance, practical guidance on how you can move from just dreaming of having a better life into making it become your reality. Remember, reading, a job, and working are the keys. You need two jobs, you need a car, you need a savings, and you need to read. Never let anyone stop you from saving money. Every penny that you get above what you need to maintain yourself, you need to save. That first $2,000 that you put in the bank will bring joy to you. That's what happened to me. The first two jobs I worked were in a bar. I worked from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock in one bar and from 6 o'clock to 2 o'clock in another bar. I kept saving and saving and saving until I got my first car. Then I moved on to flipping hamburgers. Then I moved on to delivering ice cream to children. But I kept saving, and by the second summer, I had $2,382 in my savings account. Yes, I was making a low wage, but the point of it is I kept moving and I kept saving. And finally, I was able to return to school. but I didn't sell my body. Negative thoughts interfere with the wonderful life you were meant to lead. You Are the Prophet of Your Life will show you how to live positively no matter what the current situation is. Don't let problems stand in your way of being happy and successful. Learn how to overcome even the most difficult challenges you may face. Think of your life from today on as a new building in which you are the architect. You are the builder of the greatest life you can live. It's up to you to determine what course your life takes, starting today. Because, my friend, you are truly the prophet of your life. Every day, life throws challenges at us, and it is how you choose to handle those challenges that makes all the difference. You can decide the course of your life from today onward. Think of it. You don't have any money. Your friend suggested you guys go rob someone. You make a choice. That means you are the prophet of your life at that moment because you listened to someone's stupid suggestion. Some of the key messages suggested in the book are being consistent in what you say and what you believe. A problem that most people are guilty of, they are inconsistent. We are destined to fail when we allow negative thoughts and beliefs to impact what we say to ourselves, not only to ourselves, but to others. Being inconsistent in one's beliefs translate to sowing seeds of doubt and unbelief. That's right. If you keep speaking negative to yourself, sooner or later you're going to begin to believe yourself. The most famous saying is that whatever you sow, you will reap. Always endeavor to be consistent in what you say to yourself and speak to others, exuding faith, happiness, and wellness. Never stand up and tell someone what they can't do because you're telling yourself what you can't do. Being pessimistic is dangerous. Do not get up in the morning telling yourself it's going to be a horrible day, no matter how bad your yesterday was. It should never stop you from being optimistic today. Being a pessimist is a recipe for suffering. It prevents you from seeing the positive sides of life. You must realize that you are in control of what you think. More importantly, positive thoughts lead to positive actions. Importance of reading scripture. You don't need to believe in God to read scriptures. There are lessons that anyone can learn and gain from an inspiration from reading scriptures. Reading the Bible can help liberate you from negative thinking. God's words exudes hope and positivity. God tells man that he can look forward to a great life by living righteously and not violating others. Nothing is as powerful as this. You need to investigate your emotions. Being the prophet of your life involves your being in control of your emotions. Investigating our emotions requires self-examination, which for some people will be painful. Most of us are scared to make a mistake, so we hesitate to make tough decisions. No matter how difficult investigating your emotions can be, you must never shy away from it. When you are not in touch with your emotions, you are destined to live a life out of control. Remember what I said, you are the prophet of your life. The emotions that you express every day are you. If this book has a positive change on just one person's life and saves them from living a life full of hopelessness and despair, then it would have been worth it to me. But I know the impact this way of life has always had on me, and my goal is to share the message with as many people suffering as possible. I wrote this book to wake you up. This book is for everyone. This is the story of your life, and you are its only writer. Let You Are the Prophet of Your Life be your companion to help guide you through life obstacles. Let it be the beacon of your light to awaken you to the best of you. You Are the Prophet of Your Life is a revolutionary book destined to be positive impact on countless lives. It is a breath of fresh air in a world of self-pity. Every parent should have a copy of this powerful, inspiring, outstanding book. Remember, you need people around you who will tell you that it is never too late, that you can reconstruct your life, that you do not have to live inside of a lie. Take a big leap of faith. Start a theater group. Find a place to act. Become a starship captain or a farmer. But please try acting. You'll be surprised how this will liberate your thinking. See if you can sit in front of a group of people and discuss your ideas. Having confidence. Remember what I said, the repetition is the key to learning? Now we are going to discuss the subjects of self-esteem and our self-image and our internal dialogue.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Remember, if you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you.
You have 3 choices. You can sit on your couch and do nothing. You can participate sometime hardly doing anything. Or you can step into the future that you designed. The decision is yours. What are you waiting for? You either stand up for yourself with the chance of winning or failing, or grow old, mean, bitter, and hateful. Driving your children to run from home or move to another state because of your archaic ideas. Time is running out. What are you going to do? Don't be discouraged. Yes, you can live a life you want to and be the person you want to. Be a goal-getter. Take this bold step to order and purchase these life-changing books so as to learn the detail of the struggles and limitations women faced before becoming the icons they are today. Then you can avoid mistakes too. I'm going to be honest with you here. There's only one inspirational book which has encouraged me not to be fearful as a woman, but to take a bold but little step to changing my low self-esteem and total life situation positively, so quickly and greatly. My little secret has been the book's titled Women of Courage. This book has been so amazing and knowledge-packed. Before now, there hasn't really been a right, perfect time to do the right or perfect thing. Most often than not, I've continued to wait for the right time to have things done, but it always never comes. Not until I got hold of the books, Women of Courage. To gain knowledge and becoming a woman of purpose, only then I was able to create the perfect and right time to grab every opportunity that confronted me. I was strong and determined never to get too comfortable and to stop growing. I was able to use and control my anger and temper for the right course. I became the woman of courage that was not deterred of what people say. I created and took advantage of every opportunity where people saw as limitations. Thanks to the story of many courageous and determined women of history. Interesting, isn't it? The success story of many women who read the book convinced me. Here I am, more refined, courageous, and living the kind of life I have always hoped for. You too can become the woman of courage and purpose everyone would admire, just like me.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Here are some more reasons why you should vote whenever there is an election. Number one, elections have consequences. You have the power to decide on the quality of life you want for yourself and future generations. Voting is your chance to stand up for the issues you care about, like public transportation, raising the minimum wage, or funding local schools. This is your life. Take the time to help decide what is best. Not voting means you are giving up your voice. Elections are decided by the people who go out and vote. Take some time and learn about the measures and the candidates and the issues. If you don't vote, someone else will make the decision for you. Your power is in your vote. Number three, it is your money. You pay taxes, but you do not know how the money is being used. Most people don't. Voting is your chance to choose how your tax dollars should be spent, such as funding for health care and social services. Food stamps are very important to the elderly. Voice your concern by voting. Voting is an opportunity for change. Do you want to make a positive impact with your life? Voting gives you that chance. Support the candidates and the ballot measures that can help your community and your state and even the nation for the greater good. Make your voice heard in these elections. The community depends on you. Our communities are made up of friends, loved ones, neighbors, and children. Some may not know how important voting is, while others don't have the privilege. Make the decision to vote for yourself and those around you. Make sure your voice is heard. Vote in all upcoming elections. Make certain that your voice is heard. Start preparing now to vote. Go and register at the Secretary of State's office. Find out where your polling place is located and be prepared to be the first person in line on the voting day. If you do not have transportation to the polling place, call your local library and find out who is offering transportation to polling locations. Regardless, you must vote. Thank you for listening to Women of Courage and have a great day.